Yeah, Jamie, I went ahead and set up your company. I'm going to give you a quick video of this, and then we'll meet tomorrow and we'll go over any questions and go over it in further detail. Your company number is 433. Your username is Jamie and Dosh. And Brian and Jason have a username of Brian Houston. Houston is the password, and Jason username Houston is his password as well. When you sign on here, all three of you guys are admin level. You're the super admin who can manage the users. You have the same authority, or you can take authority away here. If you go into admin, company, users, you can take things away from admin people, or you can make them normal users as well. We'll talk about that down the road, but that's controlled right here by what you give the users, your users, what you want them to see and be able to do. That's all controlled right here under user rights. So right now you guys have everything. I'm going to put in a new job here for a new customer, and I'll tell you where let me go over zip codes first. Admin, job setup, zip codes. I pulled the Reno zip codes, and I talked to you a little bit about the zones. So what I did is I made a Reno zone right here, and then I made a Reno East. And I don't know if this is valid or not, but I found this zip code out here for Sparks. I think it's a few miles away from you. It looked to be the East. So I put two zip codes in for Sparks and put them in a Reno East zone. So what those zones will help you do is get a visual of, hey, I'm not sending my tech 50 miles this way and then 40 miles the other way in the same day. You want to group it and schedule logically. So we gotta put some thought into these zip codes and zones. We can throw them all in one zone for right now. You don't have to do that. So that's your call. If you want to get down the line, if you want to schedule a little bit more efficiently, you need to wrap the zip codes in a zone. So I'm going to put a new job in. I hit the home key anytime I want to come back, and 90% of your jobs are going to be right here. We're talking basically service for you right now. We're not talking the CRM. You will probably be using the message center. These are your customers. You really don't go into there unless you want to change something. This is a new job. These are your jobs. This is your calendar. And then it goes into history and invoicing at the end of the day. We won't be talking about inventory unless you really want to. Right now, was keeping it simple and getting your service technicians up and rolling so you can see the system and see the calendar and see how it functions and go from there. So I'm going to put a new job in, and I'm going to put it at 89441. I thought I had that. I didn't key that right. So 89441. That's Reno East Zone. It needs a phone number. That's required. It needs a last name and an address. And that's it from the customer information. Couple of questions here. Ad management can be used a couple of different ways. Who brought this thing to the table? Where did they hear from you? Google AdWords, advertising, things of that. That's your call. Now here we need to talk about some things. I think I saw you're a fireplace and a garage door. So I set it up to where service fireplace, then you'll see the fireplace things. Install a fireplace, SL7, submit schedule. I just created a job to go out there and install a fireplace at 123 Sparks, Nevada. And here's the job right here. Now I'm going to schedule that for the 2nd. And I'm going to drop it down, and all you're going to see is one tech. And I've got 3 techs in there, Tech Hawk, Tech 1, and Tech 2. All you're going to see is Tech Hawk because he is the only technician who works in the Reno East. And that you may not care about that. You give them all and let them all go everywhere. But if you did expand, that's how you tell a technician where he's working. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that guy. I got to put in your times here. I'm going to do that prior to the meeting. And I'm assigning that. So now that job is assigned. If I looked at your jobs, here are the 4 jobs that I have in the system: Jones, Hanks, Williams, and Fields. If I go over here to the home key, and I go into the calendar, there they are. 3 jobs for tomorrow, 1 job for the second. You can see a visual by the Reno zone or Reno East zone right here. And you can also drop down here and say, I want to see all my Reno, and there they are. I want to see all my East, and there they are. So that way, if you got a job on the phone and you want to say, when are we going to be in your area? That's how you would do that. All zones are right there. You go drilling in here, you can go roll over and see some information, or you can click on and get more information. And we'll talk about this later on as well. This is Quick Assign. This is where notes will appear, images, the message center is here. This is a completion, non-completion code, and things of that nature. So we'll talk about this later. All right, so that's your calendar. This is your work order management. Basically, all I did to get you out of the box is I went into jobs. Well, I went into admin, job setup. I added 3 employees. I've added you 3 users, Brian, Jason, and Jamie. I added 3 technicians. These are people who do the work. Jason and Brian and Jamie, y'all are people who sign on to the system. These people, if they use the app, they will have user logins as well. And we'll do that back over at the admin company user level. So we'll get a couple of those logins, but you can log into the app as the admin. I don't have a tech set up to log into the app just yet. That's simple enough. All right, so I put 4 jobs in, showed you the calendar, and that's basically where we're at today. The other thing we need to talk about is admin, job setup, services. This is how you define a work order. So if I set a fireplace and I'm going to select that guy, it's going to bring up the next drop down box, and you can put values in here. And I can pull up some of the other companies out there and show you what they've done here as well. If I select service, if you want to add something under that, you can do that down here. So right here, if you wanted to kind of, name the service, whatever you wanted to do. But that's a 3-tier system, and only 2 of them are required. So when I go into new job, it's going to require this guy and this guy, not the symptoms. We default the job types. If you get into service and maintenance and things like that, you would change this. You would change this to a different job type. And the benefit of that would be when you do look at the calendar, you get different colors for different job types. Service could be green, maintenance could be blue, installs could be red or something like that. So from a bird's eye view here, you could get a look for whatever. And you could also drop down by job type. So here you can drop down by technician, job type, zone. You can search by zip code. The ad owner is, well, we talked about some people use that ad management to identify a person who's responsible for this job. Some people use it to identify where did you hear about us from, radio, TV, email campaign, whatever, advertising. Demographic tag, we won't get into that. That's if you were getting outside of your area. And service, that's the services of fireplace and garage door. All of those drop down boxes that you see here are drop down boxes that you populate yourself somewhere. So that's a start for it right there. This is the main menu that you're going to be working with. And I'll let you soak on this if you get a chance to take a look at it. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific time. Thanks.